Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope that each and every one of you guys is having a super lovely day today. A couple days ago, it was officially the first day of fall, and I am honestly so excited because fall is just my favorite season of all time. Like, the weather is not too hot, like in summer, and you're blazing and dying and overheating, and it's not too cold where you're constantly freezing every 3 seconds and you have to wear 50 layers and put them on and take it back off over and over again. The weather is just right, nice and crisp. And I'm so ready for apple picking, pumpkin picking, being able to drink tea and feel comfortable, wearing fuzzy socks, all of that. You guys just don't understand. Anyways, so today I'm going to be doing a Tall Girl Q&A. I asked you guys on my Instagram story. Actually, by the way, if you, the listener, don't already follow me, you totally should add a Tall Girls podcast for super funny, super relatable tall girl content and polls. Shameless plug, but I asked you guys over on Instagram what you wanted to hear next, and you guys voted for a Tall Girl Q&A. So, I guess you guys want to get to know me a little bit better. So, let's just dive into some of the questions that you guys asked. Number 1, what do you consider tall? Okay, that's a good one because it's like other people consider me to be tall, but I never really consider myself, like my height, to be tall. I guess because I'm living in my own body, and since I just see it every day, I'm living it every day, I just never really considered it to be abnormal. Well, I don't consider it to be abnormal anymore, whereas others would consider it to be normal, because they are shorter than me. I would probably say that anyone that's over a foot taller than me is considered tall in my eyes. I'm 5'10", so I guess anybody who's 6'11", honestly, I could really just round up. So if you're 7 feet and taller, you are considered tall in my eyes. I feel like tall people next to me, I just view them as average sized because I'm close to them in height. Even if they're 6'4", 6'5", it's not even like I'm looking up too much, like just slightly on an angle, even 6'7", 6'8". But once you hit the 7 foot mark, I think that's definitely very, very tall in my eyes, with a capital T, I should say. So I'm assuming pro athletes, I know the football players and basketball players and even volleyball players can get up to 7 feet. So those people are definitely, I guess, considered giant in my eyes. What is something that tall people do that others can't understand? Actually, there are quite a few things, but I'm just going to name the best 2. So number 1, ultimate, is hiding things on high shelves. Okay, hear me out. So there are definitely a variety of reasons that any tall person would try to hide something on a very tall shelf, okay? Sometimes we do it to annoy people. Sometimes we do it to make sure we hide an object and nobody finds it. So let's say your best friend is having a surprise party and you got her like a pair of shoes or something, and she's super short. She's 4'11". You happen to be 6'1". It's such an interesting height difference, but you happen to be 6'1", and you don't want her to find the shoes. And she lives with you. She's your roommate. So you just happen to find a high shelf in your room or even in the kitchen, stick it up there. She's not going to find it because she's 4'11", and I don't think she would carry a chair or a table around with her to step on it to get to the high shelves. I highly doubt that. So, yeah. But it's also so that personally me, but I'm pretty sure a couple other tall people definitely do this as well, is to make sure that nobody steals the thing that we're placing on a high shelf. Like, if you think about it, for a lot of our lives, I guess, I don't know how old you guys are, but my demographics, I would say on Instagram is like 18 to 24. So if you're around that age, we have lived with other people most of our lives, whether it's with our parents, family members, guardians, or even if we're like rooming with friends or whatever, or even siblings. We all have that favorite snack, okay? My personal favorite snack, it's these Fig Newton things. I can't remember off the top of my head the company, but it's these Fig Newton things. They're pretty good, and I'm not the only one that finds them good. Like, the people that live with me in my house find them good, and I'm pretty sure that you guys have had snacks that other people living with you found good. So you have that one particular favorite snack that you don't want anybody to find. So I don't want my mom or my friends to find my Fig Newtons like they're mine. Please don't touch them. So I always hide it in the topmost shelf, way in the back, because they can't reach it and they can't even see it. Honestly, I can't even see it, but I can reach it. So I know that it's there and I know where I'm putting it. But it's like, even if you don't put a sign, that says don't touch it, or if you label it where you put your name on it, they will still find a way to just, go about and eat it. And it's like, I specifically put a sign on there, don't eat it. I specifically put my name on it so you know that it's mine. Please don't touch it. But a surefire way for tall people to make sure that other people do not steal their food, their snacks, is to put it on a high shelf and they don't reach it. So now you understand why people put stuff on very high shelves. The next thing that tall people do that I'm pretty sure people don't really understand is reclining their seats. Whether it's in a car, in an airplane, yes, we have to recline our seats. We have super long limbs, long arms, long legs, long torsos, long neck, long everything. And we need to stretch them out. Honestly, it's very, very uncomfortable to sit all cooped up, having to constantly have our knees bent, our arms bent, slouching over and stuff like that. Like, it's a very uncomfortable position to be in. And yes, if tall people keep their knees bent too long, the knees will start to hurt after a while. Like, for me, after the first hour, my knees are gone. We have to stretch our knees, our legs out, or else we will feel actual pain. And it's so hard being cooped up in cars and airplanes. So especially airplanes, oh my gosh. But to give our backs and our legs and our arms, honestly, just our entire bodies, just to give our entire bodies a break and a nice stretch, yes, we recline our seats. So now you understand why tall people constantly recline their seats. Next question. What is the weather like up there? I'm just going to skip this question. Anyways, some of your favorite personal activities. Okay. I have very few, actually. I don't know if podcasting is considered like an activity or a hobby, but podcasting now has definitely become one of my favorite things to do. It's nice and fun just to talk to you guys for 10 to 15 minutes every week. So yeah, I find podcasting very enjoyable. My all-time favorite is music. Yes, I am a musician. I play the bass clarinet. And if you don't know what that is, the best way that I can describe it, because I can't show you a picture because it's an audio podcast, but the best way that I can describe it is that it's a long, skinny black saxophone, which is honestly great for a tall person like me. It's pretty, I would say, medium-sized instrument. So if you're tall and long limbs and you're considering an instrument, check out the bass clarinet. Might be for you. And one of my other favorite activities is cooking. I love food so much. I love food with a passion. Like, food is literally life. It's literally my life, point blank, period. And I love making food. I love eating it too. I think eating food should be considered a hobby/activity. So eating and making food. So yeah, podcasting, music, and cooking/eating food are basically my favorite personal activities. We have reached the last question that I will do today. So, how did you handle your self-love journey, i.e., loving your height? Oh, I like this question. I found it very hard, especially in the beginning, and it wasn't easy. When I was younger, as I mentioned before in my earlier episodes, I always felt so awkward, felt so left out. People were making fun of me and my height. It was a struggle, but honestly, two things I can say definitely helped me a lot. And that was cutting off people and the current pandemic that we're in. I feel like they actually go hand in hand. I don't want to talk like too much about the pandemic because I know people can get triggered by that, but I feel like once the pandemic hit, I just stopped talking to so many people because I wasn't in school. I wasn't in the clubs, the teams that I was in because, we all had to stay home. And because I wasn't talking to so many people, it made me realize that they really just drained my energy and they made me feel horrible about myself. So with significantly less people to talk to, it was hard at first because I'm a very, very social person. I like talking to people. I like making friends. But it also made me realize that being a social person also kind of drains my energy. Like, it can be very, very draining. And it really forced me to become my own friend, because I wasn't around so many people so much. And it allowed for me to have the time and the energy, honestly, to focus on the areas of myself that I really needed to work on, especially the way I see myself and my height. So taking the time to give myself compliments and practice intentional thinking, which I think is like very, very important, intentional thinking. It really made the whole self-love journey possible. Honestly, I'm actually going to do a whole episode on that in the future because there's just so much that I can say about it. And this is a Tall Girl Q&A, so I don't want to like stray off too much. But yeah, I think getting rid of the toxic people around me and becoming my own friend and even intentional thinking, positive affirmations, compliments, stuff like that, it can really change how you see yourself in the world. So I'm going to do a whole episode on that in the future. So stay tuned for that. And those are the questions that I'm going to ask. I have asked. Yeah, for today. Thank you so much for listening this far into the episode. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure you follow me on my socials at A Tall Girls Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. They're going to be linked below. And stay beautiful, guys. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Good night and goodbye.